Hello and welcome to Dawg Daze, where we talk about all things cannabis. Today we have a very interesting episode. We have Mark Schulze and Patty Mooney in the house. Let's go ahead and bring them on stage here. Welcome to the Doghouse, folks. How are we doing?
Awesome. Glad to be here.
Good.
Welcome. So we were doing a little bit of chatting before we brought you on, and you guys have several projects going. Before we get to those, though, I like to get a background of folks. I think you guys are the new creators on Citizen Green TV, or you got something going on with those folks. But let's go ahead and start with, where are you guys from? Where are you guys out of?
You want to start, Pat?
San Diego, California.
Nice.
Well, to elaborate, we're based in San Diego and have been for decades. I have a company called Crystal Pyramid Productions, and when Pat and I met in 1982, she became part of the team. That's our video production team. Then we started a company in 1985 called New and Unique Videos, where we took a lot of special interest how-to videos, which we're also releasing on Citizen Green TV. Everything from our mountain biking videos to Patty's massage for relaxation video. We even did one called California Big Hunks, which was a male erotic striptease video before Chippendales. This is 1985, mind you. So, and other than that, Nectar Ball, The Story of Cannabis is our 2024 video. The documentary we did before that, because it took us 7 years to make that one, was in 2008 called The Invisible Ones, Homeless Combat Veterans. And that's a little bit of the history of Patty and I working to help the world be a better place with both cannabis in it and helping homeless people, especially the homeless vets. And that's why we did that. We worked with the VA and still work with the VA here when we can, and also VA out of DC. But we're San Diego based, and we help people from all over the world. And we also make a documentary every 10 years or so. And the latest one is Nectar Ball, The Story of Cannabis, which we'll get into. That's a little story. I don't know if your viewers could see it, but that's a little story they did a couple of weeks ago on October 7th, last month, local TV station here. So the guy does a lot of what they call feel-good stories, happy ones. And that's the little one
about
Patty and I don't know. It looks like a commercial there right now.
Yeah. I was trying to play it, and then it would play, and then it would stop, and then it would go, and then.
That's a 3-minute story.
I did watch it before you guys came on, and it looks very exciting. You guys traveling and doing mountain biking, and you guys were underwater at some point.
Yeah, we did we invented underwater scuba biking. That was in Costa Rica. We did Full Cycle of World Odyssey, which I do believe is on Citizen Green TV. This is the story about Patty and I. It's a love story. I'm mountain biking around the world.
That's really cute and inspirational. I must say, because not everybody has that type of relationship. So you guys are very lucky. Beautiful. It's like a really cute little documentary or little piece they did for you here. So guys, go on to what is the CBS 8 and check out the interview about Mark and Patty here. This is really cute. So we're going to move on to, what is it, the Citizen Green TV, this documentary here. Did you want to talk about this right now, or?
Well, this is our award-winning video we made back in 2008. We were shooting for the Veterans Administration, what they call stand down. And as a military person, stand down, it started in San Diego. It's across the nation now, so you may know about it, Holly, and your viewers may. It's when they take as many veterans as they can off the streets for 3 or 4 days, house them, feed them, give them clothes, haircuts, legal advice, dental, whatever they need to help them. I mean, we all know that's $365 a year, all year round, but that's all they could afford to do. All donation-based nonprofit group does the stand downs. So when we were shooting for the VA out of Washington, the stand down here, and the originators and founders, Patty cried about it a little. Couldn't believe there's half the people on the streets were veterans. So I said, "Don't cry about it. Let's do something about it. We're documentary filmmakers. Let's do a story on it." And that's where the Invisible Ones, Homeless Combat Veterans came in. And we did it in 2008. And as they said, the people that we gave in those days DVDs away. Before that was all VHS, and we gave the DVDs away to everybody in the government. Everybody from Michelle Obama on the way down, and to try and help raise awareness, which it did, and it raised money. We never took any money. We told people to give it to the causes in their neighborhoods, in their backyards, of their time or money. So if you go up to theinvisibleones.org, the movie's there for free, or you can go see it. More importantly, it's better to see it on Citizen Green TV for free, and share it with people, because that's an important documentary that helps the homeless, specifically veteran homeless. Patty, was the editor, so she can tell you a little bit more about technical.
Yeah, great. Yes, please.
Oh, well, several times I was ready to just throw my hands up because it was very difficult to edit, because it was on the cusp of standard def and high def. And so we were trying to breach that gap and jump into the high def, but then
high definition
software was kind of not robust enough, so it would crash a lot. And then to boot, I had to chroma key people because we used green screen, and it kept crashing, and I would lose work, and it was just one of those 1,001 things that can go wrong. And then Mark would come in and, no, you've got to do this. Just think of those homeless people, and they're sleeping on streets and under highway bridges. And one of our friends once quipped, homeless and veteran should not be two words in the same sentence. For people who've served our country and put everything at risk, including life and limb, and then to come home and be shuttled off like garbage.
Well, particularly in the Vietnam War too,
yeah.
Very, very upset. And so I decided to spend a year editing this. So every night I'd be editing it, and there'd be, the parties with friends, and they'd be, where's Patty? And I'd be up here editing this documentary.
She puts in all the hard work after the work is done. She puts in the hard work after the work. Continue.
Right. I hear you on that one. So I'm looking at all the different awards that the documentary has received. That's very impressive, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's just the accolades, but it's more important that it gets out there to be seen so that people can make a conscious decision to help. Because this is not something you want in your country if you can avoid it, is this homeless problem, and especially with veterans, like Patty said, it shouldn't be in the same sentence. But if your viewers can share it with their people and their friends, that maybe it goes viral someday. Again, we're not making any money off this. We never tried to. It was all about getting the information out. Same thing with Nectar Ball, the Story of Cannabis. It's like 15,000 years of cannabis put into an 82-minute award-winning documentary shot in 4K and did a lot of green screen. You'll notice in all of our movies, we don't do any narration. The stories are all told by the veterans in The Invisible Ones. And in Nectar Ball, the Story of Cannabis, it's the visionaries. We have a couple movie stars like Tommy Chong in there. You see a picture with Patty, me, and Tommy. And we have a lot of movie star friends, and we put them in the movie, and they help add credibility. But the story is all told by the farmers, people that have been growing for decades. The nurses, the medical, a few doctors, scientists.
Dr. Meshulam, the doctor of THC himself, the father of THC, they call him.
Yeah, Dr. Raphael Meshulam. He's passed away. He was 96 when we interviewed him. So we've got some really cool, rare footage in that too. So if you go to Citizen Green TV, or in this case, that one's redcoraluniverse.com, they will, if you look under the artists, Mark and Patty, with that little picture down there, you'll see a whole series of about 10 to 15 shows, everything from mountain biking and the ones we talked about, massage, relaxation, the invisible ones. And Patty's did one by herself called My Choice, about the biggest march in Washington, D.C. in 2004 for the March for Women's Lives, to give women a choice. So Whoopi Goldberg, Sybil Shepherd, all these famous people are in that one. Below, you'll see
what is that you have on your shoulder there, Mark? That looks like a tank.
That's the cameras I use. And it's held up by what they call an easy rig so that all the weight isn't completely on my shoulder, though it looks like it's pulling my shirt. Anyway, but yeah, that's when you have to carry a camera all day, sometimes that's the best way to do it. And then that's our World Odyssey, which is like the endless summer on mountain bike wheels to 9 different countries. And that's a couple of different TV platforms. Pat, is that on Citizen Green TV too?
Not sure yet.
If not, we'll probably get it to them soon. Otherwise, it's on redcoraluniverse.com and also trybingetv.com. That's another
cool. The endless summer on wheels to 9 countries. Was this just something? Is this just something you guys kind of wanted to do? Is it a bucket list type thing, or?
Well, we combined our passions. We've been like mountain biking. We did all these mountain bike videos back in the late 80s into the 90s. That was probably the last time I edited with a friend of mine, Steve Langus, who's passed away. And after that, Patty did all the editing. That one has James Hong, the movie star, in it. But other than that, it's Ot P, who's a great trials rider from. We brought him into Greece from Spain, where the best trials riders come from, and he's a friend. And we went to 9 different countries, including the one that you were talking about, underwater scuba biking, which is really weird. It's what happens when you get stoned.
What is that all about? Because you are underwater. It looks like you're trying to ride a bike underwater.
Yeah, with scuba tanks, of course.
I wish I could bring that up.
Well, it's in that Zephyr one, but a little clip of it. But you can see it on World Odyssey. It's funny. It's like I said, that's what happens when you get stoned and you're in Costa Rica having a beer with your friends after mountain biking in 100-degree sweltering heat there, 100-degree humidity. Wow, wouldn't it be great to go mountain biking underwater? Oh yeah, I mean scuba biking. Let's invent that. Okay, what would it take? So
Did it take off?
Water. We had to think it through, and it worked, but it was weird. Yeah, it was just strange.
Did it take off? Is it a thing now in Costa Rica?
No. I hope not. We were on the sandy bottom of a Costa Rican beach, off a beach 60 feet down. You don't want to ride on coral. That would be bad. No. Don't start that. Don't do this at home, children.
Oh, I found the link. I'll just post the link.
Well, you can send it to Holly?
Yeah.
Yeah, the trailer, Nectar Ball trailer is kind of cool, but if you can't hear it, it's kind of like I said, everybody does the talking. All the, the actors, like we have John Sally in there, Kiko Betty, Nurse Heather, legislative genius like Ed Rosenthal, Steve D'Angelo is a cannabis pioneer, of course, Tommy Chong. We got Cheech on a Cannon Minute at Citizen Green TV too. There's a Cannon Minute, I believe, Pat, that's got Cheech and Chong in it, so that's kind of cool. They've been friends of mine.
I have been seeing those Cannon Minutes. They're very well done. Very well done.
Oh, yeah, seems like people don't want to spend too much time, unfortunately. But if you want to see the real deal, you go to the whole documentary, Nectar Ball, the Story of Cannabis. You can see it right now on redcoraluniverse.com. Or you can
So those are just like kind of shorts kind of mushed together to make an episode or a show?
Were basically inspired by the few people that didn't make it in the documentary. We did 165 interviews, and I think about 80 of them are in the documentary. The rest are on minutes or being made. We're talking about doing a series. We have one called 12 Black Cannabis Visionaries, just releasing it on Binge TV right now, but nobody else has got that. But we don't know if that's, we're going to release that much yet. We still have to, Pat's got to do a lot of captioning and, quality check, QCing it before it gets.
That's important. That's very important. Hey, you guys, this is awesome. We're going to take a really quick break. I'm going to check the comments during the break and see if I have that link and see what you sent me, and I'll try to bring it up on my end. So we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Gold Dispensary, the best kept secret around. Legal cannabis, mushrooms, and more straight to your doorstep. Each product is meticulously tested, setting the ethereal gold standard nationwide. And we're not just in it for the greenbacks, folks. We honor our troops and veterans with a special discount. Plus, 2% of every purchase goes to local charities. Visit Ethereal Gold.
And we are back, and I did bring up the link. So here it is. There's a weird thing with YouTube. We may not be able to hear anything, but we'll be able to look at it. So let's see what this is.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. See.
That's
Can you guys
getting
hear
into the
that?
water, scuba biking. If you start falling off on a, you can always, he lands, everything's slow motion underwater.
Also, that is not coral. Don't worry.
That's me giving the peace sign. Probably enough of that.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, maybe some soldiers have fallen into a pool while they were riding a bike while they were, drunk or something.
Yeah.
We did come up with the idea. We came up with the idea over some beers and salsa.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. So, we are talking about the Invisible Ones on Citizen Green TV. Go check it out. It's there right now. And my understanding is you're working on another documentary, correct? Just recently, a recent documentary? Or
well, the
recent, on that?
Patty, the one the Nectar Ball, the Story of Cannabis is our one we're just releasing now on TV. We'll see who picks it up. Again, our main objective with any documentary we do is to get as many eyeballs and many people to see it as possible. Mm-hmm. If there is a money component, we usually donate that money to the cause, if there is a cause. In this case, with Nectar Ball, the Story of Cannabis, the Last Prisoner Project, and a few of those things to get people out of jail, that's a big thing. We're hoping Biden pardons more of them before he leaves. And gets more people out of jail for nonviolent, especially cannabis. It's the stupidest thing that people put people in jail for a medicine, a plant. Give me a break. Anyway, that's part of our deal is to take a look. You learn about it, but we let the people do the talking. So everybody in there is interview driven, documentary. Yeah. Patty can talk a little bit if she'd like about some spin-offs. We might be doing a series on cannabis, Nectar Ball, the 12 Black Cannabis Visionaries, and another one she's working on about Ed Rosenthal and his fight against the U.S. government when they tried to prosecute him for helping AIDS patients with marijuana therapies. Patty?
Okay.
Oh, well, I put the link
that's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of like how I run my show. I like to give the platform, it's very guest centric. So whatever you guys want to talk about, I want to hear about it and give you guys a voice, especially for this very important cause of homelessness amongst veterans. I'm a Native American. I'm here in Wyoming, Wind River Indian Reservation. And so the homeless veteran situation is very real here. So I got to applaud you guys, and I appreciate your efforts for sure in that area as a veteran myself.
Well, you being a veteran woman of Native American descent, you've been probably the second, if not the first, most persecuted in the history of the Americas, and I applaud you, Holly, for being strong and giving service and putting up with unknown crap. Keeping it PG here. But
yeah, right. That's okay. I want you guys to feel free with that, and if you want to toke up or something to partake, that's fine. I have no issue. I do want to talk about your awesome website here. So this is your company?
That's our main company on stock footage and making movies and documentaries and special interest titles. That help, and some of them are just fun. And a lot of them have an educational component. Some are just fun.
Awesome.
Travelogue, etc. Otherwise, I put this hat on. This is the Crystal Pyramid hat, and that one is more for our video production company. So, like when there's a Comic-Con or something going on in San Diego, we go out and interview all the celebrities. Whether it's someone like a Tommy Chong or Saoirse Theron or Hilary Swank. We've been interviewing celebrities. There's one with Terry Crews. But if you go on our Crystal Pyramid website, you'll see like hundreds of pictures because Pat likes to put them on the business card, so it's different people. Here's one like Carmen Electra and Kim Kardashian back about 15, 20 years ago. So you never know, and that's a Comic-Con picture. That's Patty and I. She's working as audio and running the boom pole. God, this thing is not. Come on, get in focus. There we go.
There you go. That's a good one right there.
So that's Comic-Con
cool.
in San Diego. And so that's kind of our main gig that pays the bills. We take the money from, let's say, working for pharmaceutical companies in corporate America. We take that money and we're like the Robin Hood. And we make a movie about cannabis that tells you to get off the pharmaceuticals and get off the opioids and do natural homeopathic and smoke a little pot or eat an edible or do some tinctures. Help yourself, help the world be a better place with cannabis in it, like that cool LED light behind Holly there.
I love it. That's our mantra. That's what we're here for sure.
Good.
Get off those opioids. That's just messing people up, and the alcoholism. The interviews that I've had with doctors who say that alcohol is just the worst thing out there, and so it's shown that if they start smoking cannabis, that need for the alcohol goes away, and that seems to be the trend. And it sounds like a very good trend. I mean, it would keep the Pizza Huts in business, wouldn't it? I mean,
and the Jack in the Box, yeah. I think that's.
And Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box was doing a whole bunch of commercials. You up late? You getting the munchies? Come and eat here.
Still, I think it's about health for everyone. Good health is within everyone's reach. Some people just don't know what path to take yet because maybe they grew up with the Whopper and Wonder Bread and Spam and Velveeta cheese like me. So there are other ways of learning how to respect your body like the temple that it is. And cannabis is a main component because we have the endocannabinoid system, and exercise, which is mountain biking for us, and the love of being with the person I consider Mark my soulmate. Oh. So you can have a good life even if there's a maelstrom around you, and don't get sucked up into it. Center yourself, balance yourself. And cannabis will
don't despair. Alcoholism and drug addictions generally stem from like a PTSD, whether it's from the military or not. People, are trying to, instead of going inward and dealing with the problems, are just trying to ignore them by masking it with, let's say, alcoholism, which is really big in the tribal communities, especially because also the white man had come in and years ago, besides wiping out the indigenous people with pox, blankets, and measles or whatever, whether it was natural or done on purpose, which in a lot of cases it was. Alcohol, there's not, a lot of the natives don't have that enzyme so alcohol, like one beer will kick your ass compared to the rest of us going, what was that? So so having cannabis as a replacement is much more natural. You don't see people going into a bar and getting into a fight at a cannabis bar, but alcohol, yeah, all the time. And like even magic mushrooms or peyote ceremonies, ayahuasca, I guess the newest thing now, ketamine, whatever. people wake up and they go, hey, wow, they deal with their problem, and now they're suddenly going, wow, that was like an instant therapy session. I guess I really don't need alcohol. I don't need this drug. I can do it. But if they're in serious pain from a war injury, for instance, instead of taking an opioid, just do some cannabis. You're not going to OD on it. You can't. No one's died over an overdose of cannabis that I've ever heard of. Like Willie Nelson says, the only way you're going to die from cannabis is if a hay bale of cannabis falls on top of your head.
He actually said that?
And instead of a bale of hemp fell on your head. So that's the only way you're going to die. You can't overdose on it. So don't worry. You might get really paranoid a little bit and then think my heart's beating because you did too much. You might do too much, but all you'll do is you'll either go to sleep or just eat some sugar, and then you'll be back to normal in 5-10 minutes.
I know that there are some concerns out there that today's marijuana is not the marijuana of the 1960s, that it's somehow genetically evolved into something very dangerous. So I know the prohibitionists have kind of used that as an argument as of late, that today's cannabis is not yesterday's or back in the 60s cannabis. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
They weren't happy with it back then either. They keep thinking of ways of kiboshing it. Why don't they want people to be happy? Why don't they want people to take care of their own health?
Because they start to question authority.
You can juice the leaves. It feeds your endocannabinoid system.
And every mammal has one. Patty can go more into that. I'll tell you, as an OG, when I say OG, I used to grow pot in the mid 70s, 75. I also have, therefore, the name Nectar Ball. That's the name of somebody said, why is Nectar Ball the story of cannabis, not just the story of cannabis? Well, Nectar Ball is the name of the collection I have. I have a collection of pot buds from the 1970s all the way to the 2000s. But people go, what? You actually have buds? Yes, I have buds. That's Colombian Gold from 1978, as an example. There's a Thai stick from 1978 that people might remember. This is upside down. That's a bud, but that's one of my favorite papers to use back in the days. Better than zigzags. So they had no glue, no chemicals. They were called club papers. And then this is some Hawaiian, I think. And then there's a Humboldt from 1979. And there's my oldest buds. It looks like crap because back in those days, it's 1972 Acapulco Gold. So therefore, it's pretty crappy if you ask me. And there's part of my collection of buds from the 70s. That's the part of the 70s. So I can tell you, back then, my best pot, which was a black Afghanistan hash plant, which is this one right here, it was actually black, and it kicked everybody's butt. I don't know if it's going to focus, but anyway, there it goes. Probably was in the 20 percentile range of THC, which would be pretty high in today's standards even.
Right.
But they did genetically, people are saying, well, we want to get high off a pot. So they started making it higher and higher THCs up in the 35 percentiles and stuff like that. And people, like when I show people the Panama Red from 1978 that were around then, they said, oh, that was my favorite. It used to make me laugh the most. That was probably in the 10 to 15% range in THC. So in some ways it was less. So you had to either smoke more. Nowadays pot, if you just smoke less, it'll get the same effect basically. Mm-hmm. None of it's, quote, dangerous. Meaning you're not going to die from smoking too much pot, guaranteed, unless you're some kind of a, I don't know, freak, weird genetic makeup. But I've never heard of it. So I'm not a doctor, so I'll just say, maybe if you're on, I know it helps people's bodies, like Pat will tell you more on the endocannabinoid system. It helps stimulate that. So there's not a lot of things out in the world that do, so that helps you be a healthier person. Some people say it helps fight cancers. I can't attest to that. I can only say that in some forms of cancers, it does alleviate some of the problems with cancers. The chemotherapy gives you your appetite back, getting the munchies, right? Mm-hmm. But curing cancer, I don't know about that, but it certainly helps. Of the 3 friends of ours that had the same brain tumor, okay, they both had the same brain tumor at the same time. They all went through Western medicine. It's the brain tumor. I can't remember the name of gliomas something or other, but only 5% of people live for 5 years or longer. So it's pretty deadly. It's like the worst brain cancer you can have. All 3 got Western medicine. 2 did cannabis in addition to their Western medicine. Everything from getting it cut out to chemo and radiation or whatever. But the 2 that did cannabis are still alive today. The one that didn't is dead.
Oh my gosh.
Just anecdotal evidence. I'm just saying anecdotal. Until we pass legislation to make it legal to study it in the campuses, which Biden is trying to do at the end of his term here with executive order. Unless that happens, a lot of our scientists are leaving. It was discovered in Israel in '69 by Raphael Mechoulam because he was able to get hash and pot from the local police and the University of Tel Aviv in Israel. They so sure, study it. Well, why do people get high off of it? Go for it. Here in America, gosh, all the whole reefer madness, Assassin of the Youth, all the terrible movies, Harry Anslinger and all the guys that wanted jobs to persecute people of color, originally actually hippies, because people were getting awake and they were protesting in the streets. They wanted stuff. Why question authority? Pot wakes you up. Hallucinogens wake you up. That's why they make them illegal. They're just, they can't stop it though. So that's why people kept doing it. And even their propaganda campaigns, eventually now it's legal in most all states, both recreationally and medicinally.
Yes.
So that's the OG. The newer shit, to answer your question, is not, it may be stronger depending on what you get, but to smoke less of it or buy a different strain you like. Some of those old land races, we might be able to take the DNA out of these plants I grew back then. And that's the 8 growing in
bring back that black Afghan. Bring that back.
Well, that was pretty strong. That was a strong one. But yeah, if we did bring that one back.
It's a beautiful plant. It's gorgeous.
It's a beauty. They grow shorter. They smell more like skunks. Whereas the nectar ball sativa varieties I grew smell like pine trees. This is earlier schools before all the geneticists started crossbreeding. People told me you couldn't crossbreed the indica with the sativa, and I said, I think you can. I'll try it. So I was one of the first people to do it, and I realized, well, now these short, stubby plants with one leaf covering your face became skinnier like the sativa plants where one leaf might cover part of your face. So suddenly these big leaves got smaller. The plants grew taller. They went from being pine smelling or skunk smelling for indica to more something kind of almost a cross between the two. And as I would say now, all pot's been crossbred. I'm sure the DNA strand is going to be longer than that of the old school stuff. So maybe through research, we can bring back the old land races and that happy high you might remember when you were a kid, if you're as old as we are. Otherwise, you can rediscover it and go, wow, this is cool. It's like rediscovering the Beatles or Led Zeppelin or something.
But yeah, that was one of the most successful propaganda efforts, that it's lasted nearly 100 years, where people are still so stigmatized by reefer madness, which is a funky little film. I mean, D- if you ask me.
And you would know for sure.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, we're going to take a really quick break. I like to do a little tribute to the troops about midway through, so we will come right back.
I was broken for a while, a drop of blood for every mile I'm on. I took all that they gave and lived to fight another day. But if today is all I get, I'll make my mark and you can bet that I'll never surrender. this life. I can't change the past, but I can change how the story turns. 'Cause it's not mistakes that make us, but the lessons learned. Because what doesn't kill me will make me stronger in the end. And I'll never surrender. On this life. And I'll never surrender. On this life. And even if I fall, I'll get back up, standing tall again, with a medal on my chest. God knows I've done my best, because what doesn't kill me will make me stronger in the end. And I'll never surrender. On this life. And I'll never surrender. On this life. And I'll never surrender. On this life. And I'll never surrender. On this life.
And we are back with Mark Schulze and Patty Mooney, who have a very long experiences with making videos and helping out with homeless veteran programs, and just all around great people that I'm chatting with here. So let's go ahead and continue. We're talking about bringing back old strains of beautiful Black Afghan stuff. So just having a good time. So I'll let you guys go ahead and continue the conversation. What would you like to share with the crowd next?
Patty, step up to the camera a little more there. There you go.
You're being directed by your director. Doesn't he do that? Is that what he does during the documentaries? Is he the director?
Yes, I can rely on it. That's how I get such good footage. But as far as my own personal journey, I'd like to share that I have 2 total knee replacements, and I'm 69 years old, and I just won 2 mountain bike races in 2 years in a row, 20-mile mountain bike races on a knee bike.
She had to pedal, of course. It was pedal assist, but it was up and down mountains, and took her less than 2 hours to go 20 miles, and she beat most of the guys. She was first place woman. And She kicked some serious bootay. I was like second and fifth the second 2 years in a row. We hadn't raced in 30 years, so we didn't know how good we were. We're going against pros and stuff, and they're all on e-bikes. They're matched. You can only go up to 20 miles an hour max. So they're pedal assist bikes. They're $8,000 bikes. They're not the ones going on the streets with throttles. You got to actually pedal your ass off. So it's old school meets new school. But she kicked the butt. And that's kind of what that Channel 8 thing was all about. Because I said, no, it's about Patty and her kicking ass with 2 total knee replacements. And Jeff goes, the way you talk about her, this is a love story. So we combined both of them.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love that. That just happened? You guys just did that?
Yeah, back in March.
This year.
Yeah.
You can see some, like I said, that footage on that 3-minute CBS clip out of San Diego. The Zephyr Zone with a Z. In case your viewers want to see something fun like that.
And Mark and I are considered the grandparents of extreme sports videos.
Wow, that is awesome. I love that. Ooh,
yes. We will talk. Yes, we will talk.
And the little logo for Citizen Green TV just popped up, and they're showing a lot of our mountain biking shows and stuff too. We should probably just give it to him. Pat, tell him just take that little 3-minute clip of Zephyr and see if he's willing to give that. That's your listeners, viewers, etc. would love it.
I want to look at it. I want to watch it.
You will. You got it.
Another thing another topic.
Go to metroball.com and you see everything else too.
Yeah.
Or crystalpyramid.com.
So another topic really is what you stand for, Holly, which is your indigenous wisdom and how a lot of the seeds were saved by indigenous people throughout this prohibition that we've endured for all these years. And it was the indigenous people who saved a lot of the seeds so that we can now enjoy the bounty today. So thank you.
Matter of fact, so thanks to Holly and her generations.
I'm fairly new to the cannabis culture. Grew up in a very strict household. I was in the military for 22 years. Big no-go in the military. I did 2 combat deployments, came out, and I was damaged, PTSD. I didn't know I had PTSD, but my friend was there like, Ollie, you need to go and talk to somebody. I did, and lo and behold, I have PTSD, which is not an easy thing for me to say even, but I have it, and I'm dealing with it. And being Native, I do not want any kind of pharmaceuticals. I don't. And so I'm looking for Native ways or natural ways of healing. Unfortunately, here in Wyoming, the prohibitionists still have it under, control. It's totally not legal here, which is very unfortunate. So I'm finding other alternatives, teas, going to sweat, grounding, meditation, all that kind of stuff. But I can't wait for the prohibitionists to hit the road and let me have access to my medicine. But that's very interesting that I didn't realize that the Native community held on to those seeds. That is kind of helping
in 2000,
that's interesting.
2016, I was introduced to a woman at the Emerald Cup in the history section. She was with the Lakota Indian reservation, and they had a seed bank. And their seed bank had all the corn and squash and all these indigenous to the Americas, and they were guarding them. They said their seed bank had been tried to broken into many times by like a Monsanto type spies, trying to steal the seeds, so they could pull off one of their little coups where they make the corn illegal because you're using our corn seed, and then they take your farm from you. So that's what Monsanto was doing. If you look at the documentary Seeds Inc., we didn't produce that. It's just a wonderful documentary. I love documentaries, and that's a good one. It shows you what bad can happen when genetically modified corn is, put out there, and it starts cross-pollinating with your native varieties, and then suddenly they say, hey, your DNA has our stuff in it. Well, it's because your pollen floated into our farm. Well, if you don't have a lawyer to fight it, they take your farm away from you. So that's in the movie Seeds Inc. documentary. So
ooh, I gotta check that out, because that is something that's like a proprietary thing, and like your seed repository that you have, your personal seeds there, I would guard that, dude, because I mean, that's something that is probably very unique at this point. And so I could see people trying to get a hold of those
that's
things.
what she warned me. Lakota Seed Bank young lady, or she said, "Hey, don't tell anybody about it." I'm like, kind of have to though, because I got to get the word out. I mean, it's part of the story for us, at least Patty and I. And but yeah, we guard it, and the seeds, the DNA in there. I tried giving it to the Smithsonian a couple decades ago. It's federally illegal, so they couldn't take it. So someday maybe it'll be in some place of depository like Smithsonian or something, but a famous cannabis museum or something. But yeah, the geneticists all want the DNA, so that because it's the only one. We've been all over the world filming for Nectar Ball, Story of Cannabis, and Full Cycle of World Odyssey. But when we did the cannabis one, we asked people, "Hey, you know anybody in your country, whether it's South Africa or South America and Uruguay, which is the first country in the world that legalized cannabis? Then was Canada and places like that." I said, "Do you know anybody has a collection of old pot?" They go, "Old pot? You mean like buds? Or seeds?" I said, "How about buds with seeds?" "No, never heard of that." So as far as we know, there is no other collection like the Nectar Ball collection on the planet Earth.
That's so cool. You could do a documentary just on that.
Well, that's what the green screen set up to do. I've been shy. I've been scared to get in front of the camera. I have to have my buddy here, Charlie Lloyd, come in there and interview me. You got to have somebody, maybe Holly, you sit there and on the Zoom call and you can interview me, because I'm kind of, I don't seem like it, but I've been reluctant to get in front of the camera. I'd rather be behind it.
Yeah, well, the documentary we did make that is now ready for consumption, and to answer your desire for Wyoming to come to an understanding about this plant, this is a documentary you can show to your grandparents, your parents,
and the government.
So they can understand what went down. It goes way back to the beginning when cannabis was used as a spiritual instrument, and how people came to enjoy it, quote, recreationally, but all use is medicinal.
Yes.
Plant. So the documentary lays it all out in a timeline. That's why it's called The Story of Cannabis. The prohibition, the history, the farmers who protected it, like the indigenous people protecting the seeds, all the stories about how cannabis is a healer. So if you just show the documentary to your family and friends, this is a great time this season where you're all having delights in front of the fireplace or the TV screen. Watch it.
Just don't watch it in the sweat lodge. Don't watch it in the sweat lodge. Your TV will melt.
And it becomes very clear by the ending. It becomes very clear that this plant was made for us.
All mammals, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly hearts and minds is pretty much what I got to go with here, because wow, they don't even like to talk about hemp here in Wyoming. So that's how much of an uphill battle it's going to be.
Well, they got the CBD, but believe it or not, CBD without a little THC is not going to be nearly as effective. I mean, you might get some benefits from CBD, especially if your body's starving for endocannabinoids, for your endocannabinoid system, your cannabinoids. We're learning about this. I didn't know that. I grew this stuff. I didn't know what made it tick. People like Raphael Meshulam figured this stuff out and then started sharing it with the world. It took me years to find out. When I came out of the green closet, 2016, and went to the Emerald Cup and talked to the woman from the Lakota Seed Bank about my collection. I'm going, what? So I'm like, okay.
There's a green closet?
So the guy there's been 2 movies that featured my collection so far. First one was probably in 2017, was 18, somewhere around there. It's on Netflix, called this Legend of 420. It's a goofy little cannabis movie called The Legend of 420. And it has about 2 minutes of me on there with my collection. And they make it seem like I'm down, getting it out of a basement that doesn't exist. But I didn't show my face because I didn't want, I was still kind of in the green closet.
Brushing the dust off of it.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly it. So there's that. And then we'll be doing something coming out here maybe within the next 2025. We'll come out with something, and Citizen Green TV will most likely have it. And it'll probably just be a short 20 or 30 minute, probably 30 minutes about the Nectar Ball collection and the OG and how it came into existence and what the old school, I liked your questions about, hey, some people said that old stuff made them happier and was more lightweight and less of a heavy duty high. Yeah. Again, less THC, probably less of that psychocannabinoid effect on the brain. Therefore, you could goof around a little bit more,
I like that.
More fun, I think. I think it's more of an illusion, but the cannabis, like my friend here, he says he's getting stuff that's in the 50 plus THC range. That's just insane. And these kids are doing things like dabs.
Well, it's infused cannabis.
And then so the dabs are like more than even infused cannabis. It's like it's super concentrated. Like one hit of that, you're just like smoke 2 joints. You're like, you get
addictive, and it doesn't have all the psychoactive.
You got on campus. You can't see or hear you. Sorry, Charlie. It sounds like the tuna commercial from way back when. Go ahead, though.
Well, we'll have to have everybody on again. Our time's just about up. It's been a pleasure, folks. Is there anything you would like to add to wrap things up? Some kind of ending on your end?
Patty, you want to start?
Well, we care about veterans. Both of my parents were veterans from World War II. My mom was a WAC. My dad was in the Army Air Corps. Mark's dad was served in the Korean War. Wow. So we have a special place in our hearts for veterans. We've worked with we've done a lot of little shows for the VA on injured veterans. And I know cannabis can help in the healing process. And a lot of people who may be considering suicide because of what they've seen in combat, give it a chance. Give this plant a chance.
Yeah, and I would go beyond this, our movie even. Veterans out there that are in heavy despair, don't. This is all just part of the process you need to go through, and it's painful, yeah, but you got to do it. Holly, you got to get through PTSD. Maybe microdosing some mushrooms, okay? Just something, anything it takes you. Therapy, obviously extremely important. Combinations of both are probably the best. Combining Western, Eastern, and make up your own medicine right ways. But don't despair, as Patty says. People are out there. We're here. We hear you. We try to be there. Our movies are hopefully there to help you. There's even some VA videos that Pat just edited up that we gave to Citizen Green TV are just simple things like how to put on your prosthetics, how to put on a sock, with their machine, how to put on your back brace. There's short little 2 or 3 minute videos, but they're on Citizen Green TV too to help veterans that were from the VA that we shot for them. So we decided to give them away too on TV. People watch it for free and learn something, even if you're not a disabled veteran. It'll
give
help.
You a proper homecoming, just like the Native Americans used to do with their warriors. They would have a big celebration and welcome them back into the community. And to see homeless veterans not welcome back into the communities is heartbreaking. But I think we can all solve that issue.
And don't take it personally. If you want to learn more about things you can do to help yourself too, go to all the different sites, and Holly's going to probably have some, and she can put some in the chat or whatever. But also nectarball.com if you want to learn more about the movie there. We ask for a $4, $4.20 donation, $4.20. If you watch it at our show with commercial free, nectarball.com if you want to help us personally. But again, we're not doing it for the money. We'll certainly never get back the amount we spent traveling the world for 7 years, or traveling the world for 5 years, let's say, and 2 years in editing by Patty over there. So, but you can see the Nectar Ball, the Story of Cannabis. That's the big one, the new one. More to come. Otherwise, go to Citizen Green TV and make sure to watch those great combat veterans videos. They have a lot of different shows besides our invisible ones. They also have music videos and what other good stuff. And probably you can also see some of our mountain biking if you're curious about that. And otherwise, go to Crystal Pyramid if you want to see some love story stuff and fun things.
I love it, guys. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys come back real soon. Welcome to the Citizen Green family. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe out there.